Welcome to way up north in Wisconsin. I am a stone's throw away from the UP now in the Northern Highlands American Legion State Forest, and I am currently in Big Lake Campground. I'm going to give you the tour here. Numbers start at 1801 and they go to 1870, so we have 70 sites in this to cover. We'll take a look at the map here. We are up here starting this journey. We'll go all the way down and then back up. So the first set will be half woods, half lakeside, and the second set will be all wooded sites with one weirdo one in the middle that I have to remember to cover. All sites are reservable on wisconsingoingtocamp.com. Remember to look for the National Forest and then pick your campgrounds, either northern or southern section, and zoom in on whichever campground it is you're looking to reserve. You'll also want a state park DNR sticker that you can buy here. The other things you need to reserve online. You can reserve up to 11 months in advance or day of. You can call or do it online. 1801 here. Got a tree cluster in the middle. Several of these trees look like they're marked to come down, so that may change in the future. But you definitely have one side or the other to work with. 1802 is next to the camp host and the firewood sales. This one is nice and big. And let's just take a quick look since we're here. There's nobody here now. It looks beautifully cared for. Very nice, flat, big site here. And you can kind of see through the trees off to the lake. There's no trails. Well, see if they call this a trail or not. Not really. Heading down to the lake from here. 1803, woodside, not very big. It looks like somebody went right to the edge over there of the drop off. There's a little bit of room over here. It's not a huge site. 1805, there are lots of trees marked here. These trees, that one, all marked to go. You can get quite deep. They chose to go sideways because you can maneuver. Why not? And the tree that's right behind them will eventually be gone. And that's looking out at the lake. 1806 has been strangely marked for some reason. This one, quite long. You can get fairly large vehicle in here. There is a stump to worry about here getting in. Lots of trees have been marked. Well, all of these have been remarked, so I think they sprayed them and eventually they'll come back and paint that brown, and that just means that will pop better. So 1807, there's an uphill slope and then it flattens out and there's room to kind of snake around to the side. 1808, this one slopes down, big downhill place, great for tents. I'm not so sure the RV is normally on the right hand side, and this is where your fire pit is. Fresh new pit toilet. 1809, you got to come in this way. This one is really kind of connected with the last one at the base, and then it kind of hooks around. 1810, this one I would definitely call a tent site. Yes, you could probably put a pop-up or something back in there. There's an area over on the side for a tent, but this goes down and back up. There's not a lot of flat spot. 1811 on the left. Plenty of room on the side of the fire ring, but the fire ring is really kind of stuck over. You could also get something large on this side, but it's all backwards. So think about that. 1812. All right, so this one's got the tree on the right. You can go straight back almost to the fire ring. Great place for a tent over here. So in that world, this is great. It looks these all look very well cared for. And another tree over there is about to go. Okay, 1813, really wide site. If you can maneuver in and around the corner, you can get a nice rig in here, looking out at the lake beautifully. Lots of room to play with. And this one you can scamper down to the water. I'm actually quite shocked at how empty this is right now. This is Wednesday morning, 1 week before the 4th of July while I'm here. 1814 is right here. This one slopes back nicely. Lots of room in here on the wooded side. 1850 directly across on the water side. Big downhill slope here. So you can't get anything big in here because you won't get a big level spot. It's big in length, but it's not big in level. 1816, slow slope up into here. You could level on that one. 1817, great tent site. You could fit some other things in there. Not going to poke my face into their world. 1818, slopey up on the wooded side here, and then around to the tent and fire ring. It's not very level on that side. 1819 over here, big drop down. Definitely just tents. You might be able to get something in here, but there's not a lot of room to level in there. 1820. Again, very slopey, going up into the woods here. There is a good sized place for a small travel trailer, but nothing really that big in there. All of these great for tents. 1821 over on the left here, back on the water side. There's a nice beautiful area to the right of the fire ring for a tent. Not a lot of room down there for anything else, and it's just all drive. 1822, again sloping uphill and then wrapping around the corner. Let's see how far out around that goes. I don't even see the picnic table. Once you're up here, there's quite a bit of room. It never really levels off though. 1823, one of the more level ones. It's still got a little bit of downhill slope to it. You could maneuver in and over to the side here with something, or that's just a great place for a tent. It's more sandy there and gravel down the middle here. Okay, after that last site, we have the road down to the boat ramp, and then the campground continues. So we are actually a bit off the water now on the water side. Oh, I need to show you this one now. This is that oddball one on one of the center cut throughs over here, 1824 here. Smaller wooded site, but actually one of the flattest ones I've seen. 1825 on the water side, right next to a brand new pit toilet with great views. This is slopey down. You can see, maybe you can see by the marks in the ground that whoever was here struggled to get back up. There's a medium-sized flat area at the bottom, but you could struggle to get something out of it. 1826, signs way over there. Wide opening here. And big area in the back, very flat. Lots of things you can do here, and the path to the beach is right here. All right, here's the beach. Beautiful lake. Now, if I sound out of breath, I think those Canadian wildfires are finally getting to me. The air quality at home down in southern Wisconsin is worse than it is up here, but you can probably see through the haze here. It's not the best up here either right now. But it is much better than it is in, say, Madison or Chicago. Now, the lake looks very clear. Sandy beach. it looks really nice. Beautiful place. So for convenience and a level site you can do a lot with, 1826 is an excellent site, but no, that's someone just parked to use the restroom. So you may have extra traffic. 1828 over here on the left. The sign is way over there and it comes in this way. So you can use this as a pull through. It's not level. And there's not a lot of, let's see how wide you can get in here. So if you come all the way back here, you can back something in down there, but it is not level. 1827 on the wood side here, more level. A little uphill slope, but pretty level once you get in there. 1829 here, looking a little better now. Yeah, sort of. I'll just show you what I'm talking about. Slopes down on the gravel here. Once you're to this point, it's fairly flat, but there does seem to be a drainage issue coming through here. So heavy rains, you're gonna have a river coming right through. 1830, big level site. This one goes forever. You're still within sight of the porta potty and the beach access. 1831 on the lakeside. This is one of the flattest ones so far, not one of the biggest. They do want to keep you in the barriers, no structures outside of that, and that tree is your limiting factor. And the firing is equal to it. Across the way, 1832, fairly flat, kind of rooty. There's roots coming through a lot of this. Not bad when you get over the side. Great place for tents. 1833 on the, hey squirrel, on the water side. This is where you would park something bigger. Plenty of room over on the right of that for your picnic table, fire ring, and screen house and stuff like that. Across the way, 1834. This one is ultra flat. Really nice site to work with. 1835, and that means I'm halfway there. This one goes way down there. Long drive. I don't know if they're completely flat, but I'm sure their head was up when they were sleeping. Room for their trailer next to it for the boat. And I think they might have the boat beached out there. 1836. Over here, this one is more level than most. You got a lot of room to play in here. And even the tree that would be the problem back there is marked for removal. Okay, we are totally entering non-waterfront now. It's all wooded sites. 1837, mid-size, very flat. 1838, huge. This thing is massive and flat. Yes, you can get your big fifth wheel here and another one and a third one if you needed to, but you're limited on what you're allowed to bring in. But there's plenty of room for your vehicle, your car, your boat, your bikes, everything. That's the kind of site you grab if you're bringing a big family and each one's going to have their separate site. This is the site where you set up camp and kitchen and everything for the group meals. That's what that one's for. 1839, another very big site. Not as big as the last one, but you got a lot of room to play here. And very flat. 1840, you can kind of see it hiding over here. This isn't as big, great tent site, but yes, you could also get an RV in here too. Very flat, very long here. 1841, over here. Gotta watch out for that log hiding in the green there. Fairly long. A little whoop-de-doo, but not bad. 1842 over here, next to the older pit toilets. This one, again, a massive site. You got a section here and a section here, so you can comfortably park big whatever over here and a whole other set of things over here. So great, another great place to hold as base camp for a family. So as I'm going through this, definitely there's something to be aware of. The waterfront side, very slopey, not level. The wooded side, flat, much easier to work with. 1843, plenty long, and just a little bit of room on the side. So this isn't a huge site, it's just nice, straight and long. 1844, pretty big site, plenty of room over here for a lot of things. It's not the longest, but it's still got a lot of room. So after having a nice chat with the campground host over there, who has done an amazing job actually of cleaning these sites. The sites are immaculate, beautifully raked out. I'm backtracking to the end of the loop. Sites that aren't on the water. She says there's trail off the back to a second beach. So I'm back at 1836. And let's see what we find out here. And there's my trail. Oof. Maybe it shouldn't be too encouraged. Small little private spot down here. Not bad. You could swim out here, no problem. Or beach your boat here, tie it off. And when I came back up, I took the other trail split, and it takes me to 1838 that I just came out in. So both of those have access to that little beach very nicely. Now honestly, I'm showing you that little beach back there, but tread kindly. I don't want it to become like Buffalo Beach where they had to fence it off. Well, they had some shoreline restoration to prevent erosion. 1844, mid-size, very flat. Come to a junction coming up. 1845, quite long, kind of backward site. Small pop-up, sheer drop, something like that. Regular RV might struggle, great for tents. 1846, nice flat, good for just about anything here. Limiter is that beautiful tree in the back. 1847, mid-sized site, not a huge one. It's kind of petite. 1848, another mid-sized site, not a huge one, but a little slope to the right, but pretty good. 1849, this one goes back a long way. Anything can go in there, not a problem. 1850, one of the big ones. This one's off in the woods here. An absolutely gorgeous site. You can do a lot with this. And like I said, beautifully maintained right now. 1851, big downhill slope. Once you hit the grassy area, it's flat. Waters from Baker Pumps from Evansville, Wisconsin. 1852, not a deep site, but very wide. This tree kind of changes how you can use it, as well as that cluster, but gives it some interest. Another pair of vault toilets. Apparently these are slated to be replaced in a couple years. 1853. Really nice flat site. It's not really that deep, but it is flat all the way around. 1854 on the inside. Another beautiful flat site that loops around over there to the fire ring and picnic table. 1855 straight across from it. Another flat site. And you know, there are certain sites that are meant as pairs, and I got those coming up, but these two make a great pair site as well. 1856 on the outside. You see what a table is? Table can be moved, but there's not a lot of room for a rig in here. This is a great tent site or a small camper. 1857 over here. This one's got more room, a little bit of a slope up, but not too bad. If you can hook it and avoid the white tree there, you got a little extra room. 1858 on the inside. That's a small site. Tent only there. 1859. Got a wide opening with a tree in the middle, so back in that way. Or you got a lot more room straight through here. It's pretty wide in the back. You just got a narrow opening, although one of those trees is marked for removal. 1860 here. You could pull in or back in. Your choice. It's not very big, but you can probably make the corner, go back out that way. So if you're somebody who really doesn't like to back your trailer up and have something very small, that's a good option. 1861 across from that. Pretty flat, not huge, but not tiny. 1862, wide sites in the back, mid-size in length. A little mossy, doesn't look like it's used that much. 1863, this is a small site in the back. Fire ring's right in the middle of the drive going back. 1864, pretty big. This is actually a very large site. There's quite a bit of room in here, very long. 1865, another really long site, but not huge once you get back there. We have a pair of sites at 1866 and 1867. Here and here. I'm not sure how you'd back into this one because you would have to make a weird maneuver, but big rig goes on this side. 1868, fairly flat, a little downhill slope, but not bad. Not a huge site, but fairly long. It's pretty small in the back. 1869, table's on the right. I guess you can do whatever you want with that. Fire ring's over there, so the table can go on the other side. It's got quite a bit of room in the back, as well as fairly long. And that brings us to the last site where I'm parked at 1870. Not one of the longest sites, but there's quite a bit of room here. I'll just bring you to the back. And there's quite a bit of space back here to set up. So that is Big Lake Campground in the Northern Highlands, American Legion State Forest in northern Wisconsin, not far from the UP here. Talking to the campground host, apparently this place this year has been about 50% occupied during the weekends. Get on out there, folks. There are sites available. Don't tell me you can't find a site. They do exist. And on this case, I bet everybody's booking those waterfront sites. They're not good. They are slopey. They don't really have that great a view. The wooded sites are flat and beautiful and probably empty all the time. Just bring yourself a screen house. Make sure your bug spray has some DEET in it, thermocells, all of that stuff to help you out. The back sites are so much better than the waterfront sites here. And that's why I do these videos, because there's no way you tell that from the little photos that the Wisconsin DNR provides. So thanks for coming along on this journey. I have a full playlist of all the Wisconsin State Park sites that I visited, which is almost all of them now, and finishing up with the National Forest, or the State Forest, and a separate playlist for the National Forest sites within Wisconsin. I'll see you on the next one. Get on out there. Be careful of deer.